Okay, good morning everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Emad Mansour. I'm from the University of South Florida in Tampa, United States of America, and I'm really privileged and honored to be here today with you to present you this workshop. So today's topic is about, maybe it's a little flipped, so let me fix it. It's about flipped learning. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I'm from University of South Florida. It's all the way down here to, it's about 27 hours of travel to get to here. So if you find that I'm a little sluggish, please excuse me. So, right? University of South Florida is actually kind of a young university. It was established in 1956, and that is called young relative to other universities, which usually are more than 100 years old. My little background is I'm a learning and development facilitator. And if you ask me what does this mean, I say, I'm not sure. It does a lot. I do a lot of things, like we do consultation and teaching, provide training workshops for faculty at the university. We do one-on-one consultation. We provide training. We provide conferences on teaching, everything related to teaching and faculty. I don't like the word faculty development because we don't develop faculty. We just facilitate learning. That's why we have this title, facilitator. We don't like the word faculty do not need to be developed. We just facilitate the development for them. We're not developers for people. Okay? I'm also the co-chair for the Florida Faculty Development Consortium. We call it that, but because this is like a local, statewide consortium of all the teaching and learning centers in the state of Florida. And I've been the co-chair for this consortium for the last 2 years. So we actually organize a conference every semester that will be attended by all the faculty development in the state. We share all the information about new technologies, up-to-date techniques, anything we can share to help faculty improve their teaching. I got my Ph.D. in education from Auburn University. This is in Alabama. It's a little bit north of Florida. And I also have, my focus on the Ph.D. is really important. I need to share this with you. It was about the qualities of excellent teaching. So my research was actually focused on the qualities of excellent teachers. What makes you excellent? So I have a lot to talk about this, but this is not today's topic. I also have 2 certificates on college teaching, one from Auburn and one from King's College in London. Well, enough said about me, so let's get started now for our topic for today. And I always like to start with objectives. I always like to be able to have at least 3 objectives for any sessions I do. Basically the what, the why, and the how. Always ask yourself these 3 questions. What am I going to talk about today? Why is it important? How can I do it? How can we apply it? Okay, so the first objective for today is actually to define flipped learning or flipped classroom. What are these? Why they are important? What is the benefit of those? And then actually we would like to devise a plan. We want to make a plan, a step-by-step plan to apply this flipped learning model to do at least one class or one lecture. And finally, we need to apply. So we need to see how is this done in class. So we're going to have a model. So let me start with this quick question. If I ask you this question, what is flipped learning mean to you? I want you to start think individually and write down something. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Go ahead. Just write down what it means, whatever it comes to your mind when we say flipped learning. And don't peek in your handouts. Don't look in your handouts. Just whatever comes to your mind. If you're done, please turn to somebody next to you. Get in pairs. Talk to your neighbor and share what you have. Talk to somebody next to you about what you just written and what you thought. Go ahead. Pair with somebody. You need to talk to your person next to you about what you wrote down, what you thought. Go ahead. Yeah, I need to see you talking to one another. If you're too far, get closer. I need you to be in pairs. So every two people talk to one another about what you just wrote down or what you just thought. Go ahead.
Already decided.
You're already done.
Yeah, but
Oh, you're excellent. You're overachiever, but the others did not do it. So yeah, please. Whatever comes to your mind, it doesn't matter. There is no wrong answer here. You need to talk to somebody next to you. If you don't have somebody, get closer. Okay, I think you probably already shared. So are you now ready to share with everyone? Let's hear from you what you got. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, yeah, I had to stop you when you start talking, but we need to stick to the schedule. So yeah, let's hear from you guys. What you got? Yes, please. Yeah, can I have your name when you? Okay.
I think learning refers to the student-centered learning.
Okay, student-centered learning. This is good. Yeah, what else?
Student and teacher exchange roles.
So exchange role between teacher and student. This is close, but this is called flipped teaching. But learning is a little different, but it's close. What else? I'm sure you have a lot, right?
The reverse of normal teaching.
Reverse of traditional teaching, yes.
Group learning without using the traditional method.
Okay, group learning without traditional method. Good. What else? What do you got here?
Interactive learning.
It's part of active learning, yes. All these are correct answers. What else? Yes? Upside down. Yes. So it's not traditional teaching, right? So what is traditional teaching then? When I say traditional teaching, is what? Passive learning or just one-way lecture. How many of you, without being embarrassed, do traditional teaching? I don't want you to raise your hand, so just nod, okay? Is this the common? Yes, Rich.
The students learn before any guidelines are given by the teacher.
Say it again.
The students learn
Uh-huh.
about the topic before any guidelines given to them.
Well, the students learn before, not guidelines, but before coming to class. Okay. Well, these are all good answers, actually. So, good job. Let me give you the definition, the book definition for that. So basically, and this should be in your handout, it's learning is inverted. So upside down, what it means is students are exposed to learning before coming to class. And then they come to class not to listen to a lecture, but to apply. Apply concepts, do discussions, do case studies, solve problems, facilitated by the teacher. So the teacher is no longer the sage on the stage or the guru of learning or the source of information. He's only or she's only guiding the students, facilitating the learning. And this is the paradigm we're trying to get to. The role of the teacher is not this becoming a source of information, only facilitating learning. Okay? So let's see. In the old traditional method, students read over material before coming to class. Maybe, right? Not always. You would assign them to do readings and they do it before class. They come to class to listen to the professor talking. And then they go home to do the homework, right? This is a traditional thing. This is a normal teaching, normal learning style. But in the new model, they actually do an interactive learning modules. So they would probably watch a video and answer some questions or write a summary about it. We'll get to that. And then they come to class not to listen to a lecture, but actually they work. Work in groups, work in pairs, work individually to apply the concepts. Okay? There's no more lecture. There might be a very small lecture, but not spending the whole time listening to the professor. After the class, they actually deepen their learning by doing a little more activities, like maybe going a discussion board, doing more reading, doing more exercises. So this is the difference between the two. Okay, so let's see here. If somebody said it's student focused, right? Somebody said that here, student focused. So you're absolutely right. The flipped learning is student focused. What it means, student focused? When I say focused on the students, what does that mean?
The main role of learning is the student.
Exactly. Right. So what you have to think about, what the students will be doing in class today, not what I am the teacher doing. Because we always fall into this problem is that, what am I going to be doing today? What am I talking about? It's not me anymore. It's about what they will be able to do. And that's a huge difference. Well, the content is introduced during class in the classical way. Where do you think content introduced in the flipped? Before class. Right. Content is introduced at home before they come to class. The students apply at home the homework after class in the traditional method. Where they do this homework? Exactly. They do it at school, in class, assisted by or facilitated by the teacher. You see, that's the difference now. And they get immediate feedback. The thing is, when students do homework in the traditional model, what happens if they make a mistake? They don't know. Until they come back, the teacher looks at it, and then they say, this is right, this is wrong. But actually, the advantage here is they do the homework in class, so if they have a mistake, it's corrected immediately by the teacher, because he or she are in class with them during that time. So how many of you are familiar with the 7 principles of effective undergraduate education? It's an article, it's kind of a classical article, 1987 by Schickering and Gamson. They did some research, a lot of research on what actually would effective education entail. So they found 7 principles. So the first principle, that effective education should encourage student-instructor contact, interaction. There should be interaction between student and teacher. It encourages cooperation among students. Students should be able to cooperate. They work together. It encourages active learning. So effective teaching should involve some active learning. You know what is active learning? You probably attended some other sessions on active learning the past few days, right? So what is active learning? What do we mean by active learning? What is it? So students participate? Feedback. Feedback is actually this next one. So giving prompt feedback, giving immediate feedback is one of those principles. Discussion involves active learning, but let me give you my definition of active learning very briefly. Active learning means students do things and think about what they're doing. It's not just doing. So it could be a discussion, it could be group work, it could be presentation, but they have to think about what they're doing. It's not like just work in groups, solve. They have to think why we're doing this, and do it intentionally. Meaningfully, yes, exactly. Emphasize time on task. What does that mean? So the more they get exposed to the material, the better. What does that mean? So they read the material before coming to class. They come to class and practice. They go home and practice again. That's a lot compared to just traditional lecture where they listen to the professor once and it's done, and maybe do some homework. It also involves respect of diversity. We need to understand as faculty or teacher that students are not the same. There are people learn in different ways. They have different backgrounds. They probably different skills. So we cannot teach them in one way only. We have to diversify the way we teach. It cannot be only by talking. And finally, communicate high expectation. So you need to let your students that you're expecting a lot from them. It's not like, okay, well, everybody's going to fail in this class. You say this is the first day of class for everyone. What do you expect? No, I expect everybody to work hard and expect a lot from you. Why am I actually bringing this? Basically because flipped learning touches all of them. Flipped learning actually is reflected on every one of these. How? Let's look at the benefits. What are the benefits of flipped learning? What do you think, after all this, what do you think would be a benefit from flipping your learning? Deeper learning, yes, it's multiple time exposure, so definitely they will learn better and deeper. What else? Don't look at your notes. Just think, yes.
I believe that by when we flip the classroom and students begin to practice in class, I think this gives us a high probability of retention.
Retention and success.
Yes.
Yes.
They will retain the information and it stays with them longer.
Absolutely. The information will stick with them longer. And isn't that your goal? You don't want them to like regurgitate all what they learned right in the exam and forget it. You want them to keep that for future. Yes, please. Motivation to learn. Actually, they become motivated to come to class and get involved and to actually to learn because they're doing something. They're not just listening, sitting and listening. They are active learner now, yes. It's a practical, that's very important. They do actually practice what they are told about. It's not just listening. You actually practice what you do and become skillful in that. You gain a skill.
Less burden on the teacher. Less burden, yes. Less, task.
Well, the teacher will, lecture is not going to, the teacher role changes now. It's not no more just the speaker. The less burden. Right.
They save time and money.
Okay. It does. Actually, it does. You can imagine your role now is not to lecture them every day. It's basically you facilitate their learning.
Communication skills.
It develops communication skills indirectly because now they work in groups and work with the teacher and all that. So basically, somebody say their learning is deeper. Yes, absolutely. Deeper learning because more exposure. They are more active. You see, if you remember the last slide, what are the principles of effective education? Becoming active learners. They feel like they are responsible now for their own learning. It's not like I'm coming to class to sit and listen. I have a role. More interaction between students. This is the second principle. More cooperation. They work in groups. They work in pairs. They apply. Getting feedback from both students and instructor. Both of them will get feedback. Students get immediate feedback right in class, and instructor will actually find out if they are learning or not. Simply because now, if they cannot solve the problem right there on the spot in class, then something wrong. You have to help them, give them feedback to improve their learning immediately. One thing is about flipped learning is that you have to post some materials for students to work with before coming to class, and usually these are videos. So if they watch a video about the lecture, we will show how to do this, how you record your lecture, make it available for the students so they can watch it on their own time. Now it's like a movie. You can fast forward, watch it a million times in your own pace. So you can go slowly, go back. Again, I don't get this, I will go back and forth and all that. You see? So they get that chance, which is respecting diversity, because their learning mode is not the same. So some of them could like listen once and they're done. Other maybe you want to listen more, want to have visuals. So that will respect diversity. And somebody's not sure if ever had that situation. Has it ever happened here in the university area that like maybe a sandstorm or a flood? No sandstorms? You must be joking, right? You guys joking. Well, in case of emergency, sometimes university would close for a couple days. So what's going to happen to those classes that you were supposed to teach in those days? Well, you can read them at home, right? That's basically very simple to the flip. Now you want them to read it, but how you can hold them accountable for these readings?
Communication through Blackboard or any kind.
How? You're going to ask them make a quiz? You see, well, this is now becoming flip learning. So sometimes it's useful to know how to do this in case of emergency.
Excuse me, Dr. Mansour.
Sure.
Those things you have said is very nice, very
I know, I know.
There is a difference in mentality. You know, students in the US, I got both my MS and Ph.D. from organization.
Mm-hmm.
The students are responsible because they pay tuition fees. Here, the government pays them.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, students might not be responsible, might be even resistant. They don't want to do this.
Yeah,
This is universal, and we will talk about how to actually get them to buy in. Because you don't do this like all of a sudden. There are steps to take, and this is actually the next session. Step by step, how you do it. So they can buy in.
Another thing, Dr. Mansour, I, as I said before, and also in another training session, that there is no, caring in the USA system that the competency of different students.
Yes.
They just give the lecture and they go away.
Well,
They don't care about us.
I know, I agree. And we,
Get in the English language. They don't care about us. They treat us like Americans or,
well, actually, in the US, there are college students as well. Well, there is a solution. No, I totally agree with you, but we have a solution for this. So if you give me just a few minutes, we'll get to that. No problem. So it will take time to actually develop a flipped learning lecture or a class, because it requires you to build maybe a video, build a quiz, a test. But once you do it, you don't have to do it again. So it may take some time at start, but later on, you will save a lot of time and money, as you mentioned. All right, so now how to flip the class. Here's the fun part. How are you going to flip a class? So I tried to develop for you a step-by-step model. You probably have this in your handout, right?
yes, it's here.
Okay, good. So it's about 10 steps to get to that level. All right? So basically, I would like to start to prepare students. This is my first tip. I would not jump into doing a flipped classroom without this very important first step. Prepare the students. What do I mean by that? Okay, I think we're done for today. So not for today, but for this session. Before I move on, let me revise real quick what we talked about. So what does flipped learning mean?
It's the opposite of traditional.
No, well, I need more details. What does it mean?
It's the burden on the student. Student plays a major role.
Right.
This process
Yes, true. Yes? Okay, yes, students will get exposed before class, yes? Soft skills are part of it, but I need you to give me like the definition. If I want to tell somebody flipped learning means, I had that definition and I want to make sure you get it.
Active learning, you mean?
No, the definition of flipped learning. What does that mean? Give me like in one sentence. Inverted learning, which means students take responsibility. They are exposed to student-centered. I want a sentence, you know? If somebody asks me, what is flipped learning? I want to tell them a full, complete sentence.
Student-centered learning process, something like that.
What is the process? It's still not it's correct.
The way delivering.
Well, active is still, but all this is correct, but I want to get the definition. Flipped learning would...
Learning process and thinking what they are doing.
Okay, that's active learning.
The
Mhm.
students will apply concept in the class and facilitated by the teacher.
Say it again, please.
Concepts will be applied by the students in the class and facilitated by
All right, students will apply the concept in class facilitated by the instructor. Excellent. But they are exposed to the learning when? Okay, let's put them together. Students.
Students they study a topic themselves, then they sit in small groups, interact with each other, then they come to the class, and they discuss again with the teacher as a facilitator.
Excellent. So do we agree now? Flipped learning means inverted learning. Students are exposed to the material before class and they come to class to apply and get feedback by the facilitator, the instructor. Why am I trying to do this before I move on? Because it's my first objective. I want to make sure you can define flipped learning. If you walk away from this session, somebody asks you, what was this about? Something about active learning. I don't want you to say that. Exposure to the material before, let's say in traditional classroom, students come to class to listen and then go home to do homework, right? In this case, they do homework before class and they come to class to apply with guidance from the facilitator.
And they know what they were doing.
Exactly, because it's active learning. They know what you're doing because they've already been exposed to the material once. And they know what they expected from them in class. It's not going to be a lecture in class anymore. They come to apply. And that's very important. Okay? What else we did talk about? Benefits. So what are some the benefits?
Achieve active learning.
They become active. Oh, men are more engaged than women. I've heard the opposite. So, yes. It's student-centered and more interaction among students. Yes, what else? Deeper learning, yes. Get feedback, immediate feedback. More communication. Save the time if you build it, yes.
Compensate for the lecture when something happened.
Yes, for emergency, it's a good solution for emergencies, yes. So good. So you know some of the benefits for this, okay? We agree on this? So let's move on now.